kind of touched me. I hadn't realized I was looking for a way to decorate my bench. And of course, my creative side, I want to put some leaves and flowers on it because nothing has really turned fall colors here. No magic, no potion, no hook, no clickbait. What am I gonna do? If you've clicked, please stay and view. Get the fire pit done. We got our lantern and coffee table. We got our canopy top. Put a tarp on that whenever we want. Through the woods here around the camp, I found these berries. And then I put them on the bench, as you saw in the video. But then it struck me, oh my goodness, I've never had these before. They've never been here. This is the first year for them to show up, and it just boom hit me. Oh my gosh, Dad's here. These are what I call round trees. That's the brown berries. Now, it could be partridge berries. They could be black walnut type trees, but I'll look up the scientific name and tell you. But I've always called them round trees, round berries, and I want to stick with that even if it's incorrect because of the sentimental value of it. And I'll explain why. Now, how this came about was every fall season we went hunting, and we just couldn't wait when we were out of school on the weekends to go with our father. And sometimes you'd get those 3-day weekends, and you'd be gone for those. At least 2.5 of them go to school tired. But you'd go into the camps, you'd go just trekking through the woods or driving to a destination, and sometimes there were no trails. I mean, Dad was on the compass and he wanted to go somewhere, and we were going to follow him. So on the eastern side, where we were, the round trees were a source of food for the grouse. They seemed to like them in the fall when we went hunting, and kind of drew to there. And now and then I'd see one perched there in the tree picking them. And so it reminded me of that. The reason why this is significant about the round berries, as I call them, is because they've never been here around this property before, and I've been here 9 years. All of a sudden, they seeded, and they're everywhere around my camp. Why is that significant? Well, because it reminded me of all the trips that I had with my father. I walked over there around looking for something to decorate my bench, and I just noticed, oh my gosh, look, these have never been here before. And believe me, I know my land, as I walk over it all the time. And finally, they've gotten big enough to produce berries, and I didn't even notice it. So it was on my bench, and I thought about it, and it took me back. It took me back to like 9 years old, traipsing up and down the valleys in the eastern woods. And every now and then, on occasion, you'd find a grouse sitting in that tree. Put me back in time, and it was a good memory, kind of like so strong and so happy memory that it kind of makes you tear up, not because you're sad, but because you're like, wow, like that really had an effect on me. I'm so glad that I spent so much time with my family. And that's why in my video, I wanted to talk about it, but you know how that is, you know how I am. I can't really do it sometimes because I get emotional, and it's just one of those things, soft-hearted, I guess. But that's why it was significant to me and made me think, hey, Dad approves of my bench, and he's here at camp. That's one of the reasons why, as you know, that I built this shelter back here in the camp, was to be closer to my family in the sense of spiritual, because Dad did this with me all the time, and my brothers, and my grandfather had a camp, and we'd walk in, 9-mile walk in and out. You'd be running on your dad's heels, so you were scared of the dark because you were always arriving at camp late when you were out on the trails. But I don't know, I just wanted to share that with you, that I'm not living in the past, but I'm so, so, so happy that I get to remind myself. Like, when you're growing up, you don't realize how good things are, like how you're in the moment. Like, you're in the moment, but you don't realize the significance of it until you get older. And I guess that's why it hit me, because it's like, man, thank you. Thank you for what you taught me. Thank you for all those trips. It's not all sad, don't get me wrong. It's good. It reminds you of all the good things, and how lucky I was to have such a good childhood. And so many people don't get that, and I wish that they could, because it's very important in this world to have somebody that teaches you those things and cares about you enough to take the time to do it. So I hope that you have someone in your life that does that. And that's part of my channel, is to inspire people to go outdoors, to create things. Don't feel limited by what people say you need to do and not do, and be scared of this or that. I mean, be careful, but if there's something you want to do and you want to create something, go ahead. If it doesn't turn out, it doesn't turn out, and you're going to learn. Anyway, that's my story about the rounds. I used to enjoy that. Sometimes it's hard to express that on a channel. So that's my tweet for this week. Something a little different, and hope that you got something out of it, just to cherish those moments. You may not always understand what someone's trying to teach you or tell you. You may not have the patience for it when you're young, because we have our own minds. We're off gallivanting, doing different things, and we don't think that the older people are the wise people. Oh, they're just old. Maybe they're a little crazy, but they're not. It's that they know. They've been through it. They've done it. And they're just trying to help you out. So visit a senior today. There's so many of them in care facilities. I used to do that. Go around and, they'd show me their pictures and tell me their stories. They don't have family anymore. So maybe do that. I mean, if you're feeling alone, they're feeling alone too, and it's probably help cheer them up, especially if they don't have anyone there. You can read a lot of books, you can watch a lot of TV. I mean, they do have people there that they socialize with, but sometimes, I guess you gotta be careful too. You gotta follow rules, and not all facilities allow that kind of thing unless you're a volunteer. So that's the funny thing about the world we live in now. Like, when I was growing up, you'd think of helping a senior put groceries in their vehicle. Now, you can't really do that because it'll make them nervous, and not everybody has the good intentions that you may have. So there's so many things that have changed. We can't live in the past, unfortunately, And maybe fortunately, I don't know. But I liked those days. And just going to make the best of what we can do with what we got. That's all we can do. So, hope you have a good week, and we'll talk to you later. I'll show you some scared ones. They've never been here before. Scared of me. There's the berries in there. And there was a grouse. Believe it or not, we heard that. Caught it on camera. Those weren't here before, those berries. Only this year. And how fitting that there were two grouse there while I was telling you this story. And you're going to learn things from it. You're going to grow, and that's what life is. Do it while you're young.